Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Liz, and in today's video, we're doing an entire living room makeover. So back in December, we painted the entire lower level of our home. We painted it completely white. The color that I use is Swiss coffee. I get it at 70%. So my entire living room was just a nice blank slate. Another thing that I did was I actually added some curtain panels to my windows. I removed all of the old blinds and took off some of the top molding, and I added up some curtain panels. I love the way they look. So that was kind of the jumping off point to start my living room makeover.
So the first thing I need to do is clear out the furniture that's not gonna stay in this room, but I wanna show you where I'm going to be putting a lot of it. I don't know if you guys remember, but I have this front room space that I have not done anything to it in so long. So when I repainted, I painted this wall a dark green color, which I love, I think is beautiful. You guys may remember this dresser was in my living room over there, so I already moved that in here. But this room, like there's one chair sitting here. I'm sitting on right now. This is a coffee table that I'm going to redo that I picked up at the thrift store. This is all of my filming equipment sitting over here. Some of the furniture I'm gonna use from that room to style over here, because really this room is a piano room for my girls. What's held me off from doing this room is we plan on removing the carpet to put in hardwood floors, but that could be a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this room cute with some of the living room furniture.
So you're probably wondering what I decided to do with the furniture that I already had in this space. So my couch that I had, I moved it to our front room. It was a little bit too big, so I actually took out one of the links in the couch to make it a love seat.
I have no idea if this couch is gonna look good underneath this window. Maybe I should make it like a little love seat. We'll keep working on that. I think the only way this sofa is gonna work is if I convert it down into a love seat. So I can do that, so I'm going to make it smaller so it'll fit against this wall. So much better as a love seat in here.
I also brought in my coffee table and 2 chairs to fill in my front room space.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove everything that's on the fireplace just so I can kind of start over, do something completely new. I'm gonna keep this rug I have in here. It's less than a year old and I love it so much. So I like the love seat in here so much better. I think I'm gonna keep these chairs in here. Now I just have to do something with the boxes and all the furniture that was in here. I put some of the decor from the living room over here. So now we're going to tackle the living room.
Now I really went back and forth with what to put on either side of my fireplace. I thought about doing built-in shelves. I had a whole bunch of ideas, but I really love to change things up, so I didn't want anything that was gonna be permanent. So I decided to go with 2 gorgeous sideboard pieces. These are the Lily sideboard pieces from Castlery, and I wanna thank Castlery for sponsoring today's video. These sideboards came packaged so well. They're the most gorgeous wood cabinets. I love them. I think they're gonna work out perfectly. I attached the legs to the Lily sideboard. Now these legs are heavy duty. All of the furniture pieces that I received from Castlery are such good quality, and I know they're gonna last for years. Now in this sideboard, this is where we hide all of our internet router, computer stuff, and these sideboards are great for disguising things like that you have to keep out in your living room. The cabinets have a push closure, which is great. I'm gonna be storing all of our board games inside of here. After I added in the sideboards, next was my sofa. I'm going with the Castlery Hamilton sofa in the color Brilliant White.
I definitely messed up and opened the bottom, but I can already see it. I'm so excited. I'm glad it's already mainly put together. I think I just have to put the legs on.
This sofa is so pretty. It has a deeper seat cushion to it, so it's really comfortable. Liz, come here. Do you like it? What do you think?
Okay, so I know I'm gonna get some comments saying, Liz, you're crazy to get a white couch, but my kids are a little bit older and I don't let them eat in the living room, so that helps. And I also got a gray chair to go with this, so that's gonna help. Only thing I have to do now is put the legs on the bottom of here and figure out where I want it in the room. Liz. Hey, everybody wants to see you. You're so cute.
I love that with the Castlery furniture, they have this red string that goes directly to the legs that you need to put on. All I had to do was get the legs out and screw them onto the bottom of my couch.
Castlery is a modern furniture company that creates a story for every room in your home. They craft furniture that is timeless, using the highest quality raw materials to create pieces that are built for longevity and multi-purpose use.
Now for your couch, you can definitely use the pillows that come with the couch, or you can dress it up with your own pillows. I love to go with neutrals and blues. That's just one of my favorite color palettes. And these are the pillows that came with the sofa. You can change the whole look of the sofa by just adding in your own pillows. So I went back and forth with where to put the sofa. I decided to put it in front of the window wall because I love it with the curtains behind it. I think it looks so pretty. Opposite of my couch, I put in the Madison armchair in the color Stone. This chair was a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, but I was so excited about the size because I love oversized chairs, and the fabric on it is such great quality. I know it's gonna hide stains and it's gonna be great for my kids. Now this armchair came with a couple of bolster pillows, but I wanted to show you guys how big this armchair is. The girls and I were kind of sitting in it, like laying with our feet up, so I love that this is so oversized. Anytime I'm decorating a room, I love to add pieces that add interest, and that came in the form of my coffee table. I wanted something kind of sculptural, something that really stood out. Now the Cupid coffee table from Castlery is perfect. It has this sculptural base that's wood and then a glass top. This piece is gorgeous and by far my favorite. One of my favorite things to do is find really inexpensive accessories that I can add to my living room that you would have no idea just cost me a couple of dollars. So I found this ceramic pot at the thrift store. You're not gonna believe it, it was only $4.50. But I wasn't a fan of the color of it, so I needed to update that. So I started by spray painting this pot. I went with a really neutral tan color just to give me an even color throughout the entire piece. I did it on one side and then I also flipped it to the other side and spray painted the bottom. Once that dried, I came in with the color Amber. This is a sea glass spray paint, and what that means is it's just going to be a little bit more transparent, which is cool because you're still going to be able to see that tan color underneath, but you're going to get a little bit of a terracotta tint to it. Once my spray paint dried, I wanted it to look a little bit muted because you see a lot of like planters that have that muted look to them. So to achieve that look, I grabbed some Waverly white paint and I mixed it with some water. I brushed it onto my pot and then I immediately wiped it off with a paper towel. This gave me the look that I was going for. I absolutely love the color of it. I grabbed this eucalyptus plant off of Amazon, which I think is perfect for this planter. To put it in my planter, I added pieces of foam that I had left over on hand. I also put a piece of plastic at the top, and I finished off the top with some moss that I grabbed at Dollar Tree. One tip, you guys, is when you get plants like this, they're gonna come squished up. Make sure you put your hands on every single branch and pull the pieces apart. Yes, I spent a little bit more on the plant, but you would have no idea that that planter was only $4.50. Now you guys are probably thinking, Liz, you spent $100 on these ottomans. Nope, I found them at the thrift store. You're not gonna believe it. They were only $13 each. I thought that was such a great deal. Now they didn't look great. They were kind of this red leather and they had these weird covers on them, but it was nice that they had the covers on them because I thought I would use these covers as a template to recover them myself. So I went to Joann's, I grabbed some fabric that was pretty inexpensive. I picked up 3 yards of that fabric. So with my template, it was actually in 3 pieces. So there was one long piece that basically measured the side, the top of it, and then the other side. So I measured the template. I added 1 inch to either side just so I had room for my edging. So I cut out 2 long pieces since I was making 2 of these. I also measured the side pieces and I cut 4 of those pieces. Each ottoman only had 3 pieces of fabric that I had to cut out. Now the next step I really think is important is you want to go through and press all your fabric before you start sewing it. You can use an iron with this. I was at my office and I actually had my press there, but you don't need anything fancy like that. Now this next step, I believe, makes a ton of difference, and that's whenever you press your seams. Whenever you do this, it's gonna make your sewing so much easier and it's gonna look so much nicer. So I went ahead and pressed a seam on all of the pieces. From there, all you have to do is put your right side pieces together, and then you're going to pin them in place, and then you just have to sew around the 3 sides. Now, once I got those 2 side panels onto my long piece, all I had to do from there was turn it right side out and I put it onto my ottoman. Luckily it fit. Then I just needed to finish off the bottom, and I found that to be easier once it was already on the ottoman. So I put it on the ottoman and then I just tucked underneath the edges so it was as straight as possible. I pinned that in place and then I went ahead and pulled it off and sewed around the edges. The legs had gotten a little wear and tear to them, so I just added in some dark stain to freshen them up, and then I just put my slip covers back on, and I think they look like $100 ottomans. I'm gonna add in my side table. You guys may remember a previous video I did with this side table. I picked it up for $5 at the Goodwill outlet and just did a quick DIY on it. If you guys have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and go down in the comments and comment the word of the day, which is wall art. One of the questions I get asked frequently is, Liz, what's your favorite DIY you created? And I have to tell you, my favorite DIY is this wall art piece. I am so obsessed with it. I cannot wait to show you guys how I made these really inexpensively for either side of my fireplace. Now, I went back and forth like, what kind of wall art should I do? But I ended up deciding I really wanted to do a paint pour technique, and I wanted these canvases to be big. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I picked up 2 canvases that were 30 by 40. Now they're priced at $40. I got them half price, so they were $20 each. So I think for the size of these, that was a pretty good deal. I did a lot of research on paint pour techniques for larger canvases, and I learned quite a bit. One, I bought paint that was specifically for paint pour. I got a white color, I got a couple shades of blues and some blacks, and I think I picked up a gold as well. I also picked up a product from Lowe's called Floetrol. This is a product that you mix with your paint to make sure that there's no lines on your paint pour. And I think this product actually helped quite a bit. So I started by mixing the Floetrol with some white paint. You need quite a bit of this to cover a large canvas. I poured it on my canvas. I was experimenting with how to move the paint around. So I started with my blow dryer. That wasn't the best technique. Then I just went in with a scraper to move the paint so it's completely covering the entire canvas. Now I'm ready for the fun part. Once I covered the entire canvas with the white paint, now it came time for my design. So I decided I wanted to do a line across the middle that was slightly angled. And then when I made my other picture, I was going to do it so it was angled up the other way so that they kind of played well together. I went in with the 2 blue paints and just drew a line straight across. I added the black, and I also added in some more white. Next, what you want to do is use a blow dryer or some kind of tool. And I just started blowing with my blow dryer the paint one direction. Then I stopped and I did it the other way, and I just went back and forth on my line. Once I got that first initial blow dry pass, I went back through and I did it a little bit more, just kind of mixing the paints together until I was happy with the look of it. Now, one thing I do recommend is once you think you're done, take a picture with your phone and look at that picture on your phone. Make sure you don't want to move the paint a little bit more before you stop. And you also want to make sure that you have the paint go over the sides as well. Now, whenever you do a paint pour, you're using a lot of paint, so you want to let this dry at least, I would say, 2 days before you try adding any border to it. So I made 2 canvases that were identical. They just kind of went in a separate direction. I definitely wanted to add a frame to these canvases because I just think it finishes off, makes it look so much nicer. I grabbed 1x2 boards from Lowe's and I cut those down to size with my miter saw so that I had a nice border around the edges. I stained all of the pieces. I put the 1x2 boards around my canvas and then I just nailed them in place with my nailer. Again, all the supplies I'm using, I'll link for you down in the description box. I hung the canvases above my lily sideboard on either side, and then I also added in a gallery light. I'm so excited to show you guys this next item. So I wanted a picture light to go above the picture over there, but I didn't want anything that I had to hardwire. So I found this one off of Amazon that you can actually recharge. All you have to do is put it up with a command strip, so it's gonna go up really easily. This is such a great option if you don't want to drill into your wall. So this light is so cool. It's an LED rechargeable light, and you just hang it on the wall. You can put this command strip on the back of this piece here, and then this piece just slides into the back. You can also screw it onto the wall if you want to. To turn the light on, you just press this button on and off, and then if it needs to be recharged, you can pull it off the wall, and then you get a little charging cord and you just recharge it, and then you can hang it back up. I want to show you guys how to style and decorate this coffee table. Now this coffee table is beautiful on its own, so I don't want to distract from the coffee table. Now this is a clear vase that I thrifted. And I wanted to add some branches in here. One of my tricks is I love to go in the backyard and cut down branches that I have. Another thing you can do is you can get like an acrylic spray and just spray them on the entire branch. This is gonna make them last longer in your house. So for my vase, I want to fill it with natural branches. I want it to look really organic. So I'm out in my backyard. I'm gonna snip off some of these branches. Once you cut down your branches, here's my secret for making them last longer in your house. You want to get a sealer. You can use any kind of like polyacrylic sealer. This one is just the one I had on hand. It's an acrylic sealer. I'm going to spray it on my branches. I'll let them sit outside to dry, and it's going to make your branches last so much longer. All you have to do is just add some of these branches to your vase. And it's free. I love it. All right, so I'm gonna add a few thrifted books. This is a box that I got at a thrift store and painted. And then I love the way like wicker just adds a little bit of texture. And look at how cool this is, you guys. I found this sculpture at a thrift store for a couple of dollars. I'm gonna set this out. This tray is great if you have any glasses, or you could put a remote in there as well. Ooh, it's windy today. Okay, so I found 3 of these candlesticks down in like my storage closet. And for some reason, whenever I spray painted them, I only did the tops. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm gonna do a coat underneath on these, and I'm also gonna do one on top, and these are gonna go on the mantle. I'm gonna add my lanterns I love so much back to my fireplace. Sometimes it's okay to DIY things multiple times so that they fit better in your space. I had a thrifted light that was actually kind of like a creamish white color, but it was too light for my now white walls, so I wanted it to be black. So I decided to spray paint the base of it black. Once that dried, I wanted to add like this cool technique. You guys can kind of see how I did it here around the base of that. In order to achieve this look, what I did was I mixed the color Fawn by Waverly, some drywall mud, and some Epsom salt. I was kind of just looking for texture and adding a bunch of stuff together. So I mixed those all together. Then I got a Walmart sack and put it into my mixture and just dabbed it around the base. This gave it a little bit of character and a little bit of texture. I kept the shade the way it was and just put it onto my new lamp, and it's a completely new lamp. I love the way it looks. So I wanted some other decorations for my lily sideboard. So I had this tray sitting around. I picked it up at Dollar General and it was really inexpensive, but I wanted to update it a little bit. I taped off half of the tray and I painted half of it with a black color by Waverly. Once that dried, I added some newspaper to one side of it so I could spray the black portion with a color called Stone. I'm gonna add my tray in and this little gold figurine. Now I'm going to accessorize this other sideboard over here. This is another thrifted vase. Now this one I picked up, this tag is still on it, you guys. It was $4, but it was a little scuffed up, so I decided to add some gray and brown paint to the outside of it. I wiped off any excess and it totally refreshed this vase. You would never tell that it had any scuffs on it at all. I also thrifted this little gold hammered piece. This is so popular right now. This piece is so in. And I'm just going to add it in a grouping of 3 because things always look better when you have 3, 5 odd numbers. So just keep that in mind.